Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever gazed into the night sky and felt a profound sense of wonder, perhaps asking, where do I fit in this cosmic tapestry? Today, we're diving deep into that very question, but from a perspective that might just reshape how you see your place in the universe.
It's really fascinating, actually. We're exploring these, well, pretty fundamental questions through an ancient yet remarkably detailed lens. Our source for this deep dive is a Bengali text called Jagati Amra Kothe.
Which means, where are we in the universe?
Exactly. By His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, originally published by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust.
And our mission, really, in this deep dive is to pull out the most potent insights from this extraordinary source. We're going to navigate its unique cosmic map, exploring everything from the mind-boggling scale of different planetary systems to the fundamental nature of the soul itself, the ultimate purpose of creation, and, what all of this means for your personal journey through life. This isn't just about astronomy. It's more like spiritual geography. So let's begin our grand tour of the universe as described in this ancient text. It presents a scale that truly stretches the imagination, far beyond what many of us might typically think about.
Indeed. The text lays out a sort of hierarchical structure of planetary systems. To give you a sense of scale, it describes the highest material planet, Brahmaloka, as being 40 crore yojanas from Earth. Now, a yojana is approximately 12.8 kilometers.
Right.
So 40 crore yojanas, that's over 5.1 billion kilometers away.
Wow. And a crore is 10 million, just so people understand the numbers here.
Exactly. So we're talking about incredibly vast distances it's hard to even picture.
And it gets even more detailed. Even closer, our source tells us Drivaloka, the pole star, is 38 lakh yojanas above the sun. A lakh is 100,000, so that's around, 4.8 million kilometers?
Roughly, yes.
And the sun itself, according to this text, is 100,000 yojanas, or 1.28 million kilometers from Earth. There's also Swargaloka, the heavenly planets, located up to 2 lakh yojanas, about 2.5 million kilometers above Druvaloka. It's layered.
It is, and it goes further down, too. Our Earth, Buloka, is depicted as being 70,000 yojanas.
Okay.
Or about 896,000 kilometers above the Padaloka. Beneath Earth, the text describes 7 lower planetary systems: Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Elatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala.
Wow.
Each separated by 10,000 yojanas, which is about 128,000 kilometers. This incredibly rich tapestry of descriptions is drawn from ancient Vedic scriptures like the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Ramayana. What's fascinating here isn't just the sheer numbers, but the implied complexity, the interconnectedness of it all.
So what does this all mean for us beyond just a cosmic map? The text makes a truly crucial point, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Our position, or Garivadastan, our movement or situation in this vast universe isn't arbitrary.
Absolutely not.
It's intimately tied to our consciousness, our mentality, and our actions. It's not just about where you are physically, but where you are in a much deeper sort of spiritual sense.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it highlights that this material world, with all its planets, all this structure, it's considered temporary.
Temporary.
Yes. The source describes it as a mere quarter of the complete spiritual energy, a small part compared to the eternal spiritual world, which naturally leads us to ask, if this entire grand stage is temporary, what is its ultimate purpose? Why is it here?
That's a perfect lead-in, because our deep dive then shifts to the origin of all this, the very blueprint of creation itself.
This brings us to the question of, the architect. Who designed all this? The source is unequivocal. It states that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, the eternal, blissful, and all-knowing source of everything. It quotes Srishtyadi Karta Bahuti from Srimad Bhagavatam, meaning all creations emanate from Krishna. It's presented as the singular origin point for all that exists.
Okay, so the material universe, with its cycles of creation, maintenance, and eventually annihilation, is ultimately temporary.
Right.
But if it's temporary, what's it for? What's the reason for Krishna's creation? Why go to all the trouble, so to speak?
Well, the source clarifies that the material world serves a very specific purpose. It's an opportunity for living entities who have, for whatever reason, deviated from their original spiritual nature to rectify themselves. Think of it as a vast training ground, maybe, a place for correction and growth.
A training ground.
Specifically for those who seek material enjoyment, and in doing so, accumulate good or bad karma. It's a field of activity.
That's a surprisingly practical view, isn't it? Not just a random void, but a designed space for development.
Exactly.
And to facilitate this, the source describes how Krishna expands in various forms known as avatars. This next point offers a fascinating perspective on divine intervention.
Yes. The text details 6 primary types of Krishna's avatars, and each serves a unique function. It's quite intricate. For instance, there's Prakasha, where the form is identical, no difference in potency. Think Rama or Nrsimha.
Right, like direct copies almost.
In essence, yes. The Nivesha, where a living entity is empowered by Krishna, like Parashurama or Vyasadeva, acting as divine instruments.
So, empowered beings.
Correct. It also refers to playful expansions, slight differences in form but full potency, like Balarama or Narayana.
Playful. Interesting.
And Vebhava are plenary expansions appearing in different yugas or ages. These include well-known forms like Moksha, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Parashurama, Rama, Balarama, Vyasadeva, Buddha, and Kalki. There are 22 main avatars mentioned in total. The significance here is not just the variety, but the precise purpose behind each manifestation. It's not random.
And there are also Yuga avatars, who appear according to the specific age.
Yes.
And Leela avatars, who come for particular pastimes or lilas. It sounds like an incredibly rich, purposeful design with a specific aim behind each form.
Precisely. The ultimate purpose of all these avatars, according to the text, is to attract conditioned souls back to their original divine connection, to remind them.
Makes sense.
And this deep dive even delves into how time itself, or Kala, is considered a manifestation of Krishna.
Time itself.
Yes, and it meticulously controls the universal cycles. It defines Brahma's day as a staggering 4.32 billion human years.
Wow.
And it describes an atom, Paramanu, as an indivisible unit of time and space.
So incredibly small and incredibly large scales.
Exactly. This isn't just grand cosmology. It shows how meticulously the source describes the universe, down to the very fabric of time itself, not just grand distances.
Now let's zoom in from that grand cosmic scale to the individual, to Jiva, the living entity. After all, who are we really, according to the source?
Right, the individual spark. The source describes the jiva as a minute, eternal spiritual spark.
A spark.
Yes, a part of God, but distinct from the temporary material body. It's the animating principle within us, the true self. While the body takes birth, lives, and eventually dies, the soul itself is eternal. It doesn't perish. It's the unchanging essence within a changing form.
That's a profound thought, suggesting a deeper reality to our existence than just the physical.
Definitely.
And what about the immense diversity of life we see around us? Why so many different forms? Is there a reason for that?
The text provides an astonishing breakdown. 8.4 million species of life.
8.4 million?
Yeah. Distributed as 900,000 aquatic, 2 million plants, 1.1 million insects, 1 million birds, 3 million animals, and 400,000 human forms.
That's incredibly specific.
It is. And this variety, the source explains, isn't random. It's a direct result of the living entity's varied desires and past actions, their karma.
Ah, karma again.
It's a testament to the vast array of experiences and lessons available within the material world. Different bodies for different desires and lessons.
So our current form is, in a sense, a reflection of our accumulated desires and actions from the past.
That's the idea presented.
And what about consciousness itself? How does that fit into this vast system? Does it vary?
Oh yes, this is a crucial point. The source outlines several levels of consciousness. It starts with Akitan, which is inanimate, like a rock, no inherent will, consciousness completely covered.
Okay, like inert matter.
Right. Then Sankuchit, or limited consciousness found in animals and insects, often focused on instinctual needs, eating, sleeping, baiting, defending.
More aware but limited.
Exactly. Next, Mukalit, or budding consciousness. This is found in humans. We have the unique capacity to reflect, to question, to desire liberation. The potential is there.
Budding, like potential waiting to bloom.
Precisely. Further up are Vikashit, the developed consciousness of devotees, those actively seeking spiritual understanding.
Engaged in the process.
And Paripurna, fully realized souls.
Right.
Finally, Nityamukta, eternally liberated souls who have never experienced material misery at all.
Wow. So the human form is clearly depicted as a pivotal stage then, isn't it? A point where we can truly choose to evolve our consciousness upwards.
Very much so. A critical junction.
But even with this potential, life in the material world certainly comes with its share of challenges. That seems undeniable.
Absolutely.
The source talks about Trivida Dukkha, 3 intrinsic types of miseries. Tell us about those. What stands out to you about this, well, universal experience of suffering?
Yes, the 3 miseries. They're considered inherent to material existence, unavoidable as long as we're here. First, achapmika. These are miseries of the body and mind.
Okay, internal ones.
Right. Diseases, old age, death eventually.
Yeah.
But also mental anguish like fear, anger, greed, anxiety, even madness. The pains originating within ourselves.
Things we inflict on ourselves, essentially.
Or that arise from our own condition, yes.
Yeah.
Second, adipataka. These are miseries caused by other living entities.
External, from others.
Exactly, whether from wild animals, insects, or other humans. Conflict, betrayal, harm caused by others.
Okay.
And third, adidaivika. These are miseries from natural calamities or forces beyond our immediate control, sometimes seen as divine forces.
Like natural disasters.
Earthquakes, floods, droughts, extreme weather, epidemics, things originating from the larger environment or natural laws. The text presents these not as, say, random punishments, but as inherent features of material life, indicators that something is fundamentally out of sync with our true spiritual nature.
So it's almost as if we're bombarded from all sides, isn't it? A constant reminder that something isn't quite right, that this isn't our permanent home.
That's one way to interpret it, yes.
The real insight here, it seems, is that the purpose of human life isn't just to get by or simply avoid these miseries as best we can,
Right.
but to actually transcend and overcome them fundamentally.
Precisely. To find a solution that goes beyond temporary fixes.
Building on that, and the idea that our position is determined by consciousness and actions, let's really dive into the mechanics of karma. The source makes it clear. Our consciousness, desires, and actions directly shape our next life, often binding us to this material realm.
Yes, this is the core of karma, as described here.
Yeah.
Every material action, whether considered good or bad by worldly standards, generates reactions. These reactions bind us, leading to this cycle of repeated birth and death, samsara.
And ignorance keeps it going.
The source states that ignorance of our true spiritual nature perpetuates this cycle. To break free, one must act according to scriptural injunctions, aligning one's life with spiritual principles. The goal isn't just favorable material results, but ultimate liberation from the cycle itself.
Okay, so how does one do that? This next section offers a fascinating practical path to purify our desires and hopefully move beyond this endless loop.
Yes, it does.
The source outlines 4 key principles for spiritual life. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, and no intoxication.
Right, and these principles aren't presented as arbitrary rules or just moral codes.
They have a purpose.
They're designed to systematically purify our deep-rooted desires, or vasanas.
Vasanas, tell us more about that.
Think of vasanas as fundamental inclinations, ingrained habits, subtle impressions, and unconscious urges built up over many, many lifetimes. They're what truly drive our actions, often beneath the surface.
So deeper than just conscious desires.
Much deeper. The text emphasizes that the cycle of birth and death continues until these vasanas are purified and the senses and mind are brought under control through spiritual practice.
Which naturally raises an important question. What happens if these deep-seated desires are not purified? What if someone continues down a path of harmful actions?
That leads us to a perhaps uncomfortable but significant section of the deep dive. Sinners go to hell.
Okay.
The source describes various hellish planets, or narakas, and the specific, often quite vivid punishments awaiting those who engage in significantly sinful activities.
So consequences for actions.
Very direct consequences. It mentions 28 different types of hellish planets, each designed for specific karmic reactions. For example, Rarava, where one experiences constant burning pain, like being roasted. And Hakupa, where one is attacked relentlessly by animals, snakes, insects. Kumfipaka, where one is said to be boiled in oil.
Yeah.
And Asipatravana, a forest where the leaves are like sharp swords that cut the body.
These sound terrifying. Are they eternal?
That's the critical distinction the source makes. These punishments are not eternal damnation.
Ah, okay.
They're described as a temporary, though often severe, purification process. It's meant to cleanse the soul of those specific karmic reactions and serve as a stark reminder of its true spiritual nature and the consequences of deviating from it.
So like a very harsh reform school, in a way.
You could potentially see it like that.
Yeah.
Once the specific karmic debt is paid, the soul takes another birth, often back on Earth, to continue its journey and hopefully make different choices this time around.
Right. So from those depths, let's now turn our gaze upwards to the ultimate spiritual destination. What's the goal of all this purification, this journey through countless lives?
The source points clearly to Bhagavad-dhamma, the abode of God.
Bhagavad-dhamma.
Specifically, it describes Goloka Vrindavana as the supreme spiritual abode of Krishna. This place isn't a material concept like the planets we discussed earlier. It's presented as eternal, full of bliss and knowledge.
Satsidananda.
Exactly. And completely free from old age, disease, and death. A direct contrast to the temporary, suffering-filled material world we experience.
So it's the ultimate liberation from everything we've discussed so far, the cycle, the miseries.
That's the description, yes. The ultimate goal.
Are there other spiritual realms too, or is Goloka the only destination?
The source mentions other spiritual planets as well. There are the Vaikunthas, which are the abodes of Krishna's majestic Narayana forms,
Okay.
as well as Ayodhya, which is Lord Rama's abode, and Dvarga, where Krishna reigns as king in a different mood.
So different aspects of the divine.
Yes, but Goloka Vrindavana is presented as the highest, the most intimate realm. It's where Krishna resides with his most cherished eternal associates, like Radha, the gopis, the cowherd boys, in loving pastoral relationships. It's described as a realm entirely beyond the limitations of material time and space, inherently eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge, the very essence of conscious existence.
That paints such a vibrant and frankly inviting picture, a stark contrast to the miseries we were just talking about.
It is meant to be, yes.
So how does one actually make the journey from our current Goloka, from Earth, to this supreme Goloka? What's the practical path outlined?
Well, the source emphasizes that this journey is fundamentally spiritual. It's not about physical travel in a spaceship or anything like that.
Right, it's internal.
It highlights the importance of devotion, or bhakti, as the primary means. Practices like chanting the holy names of God, specifically mentioning the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as the most effective means for this age. Serving the divine, hearing about the divine glories. It also provides historical examples from the scriptures of devotees who successfully attained Goloka, illustrating that this path is considered open to all who sincerely pursue it, regardless of their background.
So it's a path of consciousness transformation through devotion.
And that's the essence of it.
Now, to bring it all together, our deep dive presented a compelling diagram from the source, didn't it? Illustrating the complete cosmic hierarchy.
Yes, a kind of visual map.
Can you walk us through that briefly? Imagine it as a cosmic flowchart.
Sure. At the very top, completely outside the material manifestation, you have the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavana, the Vaikunthas, eternal spiritual reality.
Okay, beyond creation.
Right. Then descending into the material realm, you have the highest planets like Brahmaloka, Satyaloka, down through the heavenly planets, or Swargaloka.
The upper levels we discussed.
Then you reach the middle planetary systems, which include Buloka, our Earth.
Where we are now.
And below Earth, you have the 7 lower planetary systems, down to Patala. And beneath those, the hellish planets, the Narakas, we just discussed.
Purification zones.
And finally, the boundary of the material universe itself. So it provides this clear visual map outlining our relative place within this vast, multi-layered system, from the lowest material suffering to the highest spiritual bliss.
It really puts things in perspective.
It does. And this broad overview, from the cosmic scale to individual purpose, the transient nature of this material world and the eternal nature of the spiritual abode, it naturally leads us to reflect, what is the ultimate conclusion for each living entity, for each of us, given this profound understanding presented in the text?
We've certainly journeyed through an incredible cosmic map today, from the sheer vastness of planetary systems, both higher and lower, to the eternal spark of the soul within each of us. We've explored the profound purpose suggested for creation, the inescapable cycles of karma and its consequences.
Both positive and negative.
Right, and the ultimate spiritual destination described in these ancient texts.
We've learned that our location in the universe, according to this source, is not just about physical coordinates. It's deeply, fundamentally tied to our consciousness and our actions. And that offers profound implications for how we live, the choices we make every day. The path, the source implies, is always before us.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you, our listener, with a thought. It's a beautiful, yet perhaps somber poem, directly from the source itself. It perfectly encapsulates our discussion, I think. After many births to worship Hari God, the living entity comes to earth in human form.
A precious human birth.
That unfortunate person who does not take this opportunity suffers constant misery through many births. So, knowing this, considering everything we've talked about, what does it mean for you to truly take this opportunity in your own life, right here, right now? Something to think about.